month 3. All right, moving right along with month 3, which hopefully I can get out a bit faster than month 2. Sorry again about that, especially because month 4 arrived. So month 3, month 4. Make sure I got those right. Yep. Month 3. Let's just dive right in and get this open. Month 3. This one is so much less than the last one. 18 colors and 49 pieces. So much less. Wow. So it's just this top part, which is why it's so less. It's like all the big blocks of color. Month 2 was 51 colors, 219 pieces. So big difference. Hopefully I can get back on track with this one. Let's open it up and see if there's anything unsurprising inside. I'm guessing it's going to be exactly what we expect. Cover, big picture of the section we're doing. Color guide is quite simple, which is nice to see after last month. Wonder if they did that on purpose. Assembly guide. It's only 2 parts. So the assembly guide for A3 is literally just sew these 2 parts together. This is one of the pattern pieces. It's practically a whole page. It's practically a whole block all by itself. It has one more chunk that gets added on. And that's it. It'll hopefully go together quite quick. As far as how I'm going to organize it into the book, I don't know. I'd be surprised if... I just don't know. Should I start a whole new one? It would be 9 pages. I don't know. Do I have most of the ones? Do they already exist in my folder?
Early the next morning.
All right, let's talk about the plan. Because month 3 is so different than the other ones I've done so far, it's got very few colors, very few pieces in comparison anyway. I'm not going to set it up in the book. I'm going to leave the cut guide and the fabric and my pattern paper pattern pieces out of the book. So I'm going to start by cutting out paper pattern pieces. I don't know if there's really much to cut on this one because it's basically the whole page. And then I'm going to go through and cut all the fabric out at once. I will still check the book for pieces. So like for R on this one, I don't think there's any reason for me to use a full new piece that they would have sent for it. I know I've got more in the book. So I'm going to go through the book and still see if I can use it for some of these pieces. Clearly, like the super big ones, that's not going to happen. But I'm not going to bother putting my new fabric into the book yet. And I'm going to cut it all out. So normally I would do just 1 and 2. But for the number I have here, there's just not that many. This one with 8 is the one with the most pieces. With this size, this style, it's too complicated normally to do this. This month, I think it's going to be doable, and this is how I normally cut out my foundation paper piecing fabric. Just start with the first color, use the cut guides. The first one is Bison. I will look in my book for it, but there's 3 pieces. They tell you where they are, which pattern pieces they go with. I'm going to cut those out, stack them with their piece. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13 paper patterns. Normally, when I'm doing foundation paper piecing, I probably wouldn't do all 13 at once. But we're gonna give it a go. What could go wrong? Yeah, so I'm just gonna lay them all out. They're all gonna get their fabric stacked onto them. I will put the fabric in order so that when I take it to the machine, I can just go. But I will take the color guide with me just in case. Now, let's cut fabric. So, first one on the list, Bison. So you can see in my Bison fabric, I didn't even use month 2s. This is month 1s, and now we have month 3s. Let's see if I can get it all for month 1. And I'm gonna stick those into there just to keep the fabrics together. And my first bison one is A4, C, D, and J. Let's see if I can scoot these over a bit. Then I can pull out the ones that are needed. So these three, I'll get a chunk of bison. And it's not their number 1. This one's its number 3, number 2, and number 2. I'm hoping I can manage to keep everything in order. I'm gonna put that off to the side. So, as expected, I was able to get all of my bison out from month 1. But I will keep those fabrics together, and then I will go looking for burgundy. We didn't have burgundy in the last one, I don't think. That is this one. And it is in A4G and A4H. G and H. I should probably stack my fabrics under my pieces so I can still see the numbers and letters and whatnot. And since burgundy didn't have a folder, I'm going to take it to the back where I have the ones that were in month 1 but not month 2. And it still has its sticker label. And this page is done. So it's going to go off to the side. Once I've gone through them all, I'll put all of the cut guide pages in with the upfront material for month 3. Oh goodness cream, that's a big one. A big cut, lots of space. There is a smidge of it from month 1 left though. So this one, and I have that 8th. This one is going to be a bit more of a pain to go through, just to make sure I get it all. So A3A, which is our big one, cream. So obviously not coming from that scrap. From my fat 8th, it wants to take it on the long side, but I think it fits just fine there. Extra sure that I'm not screwing that up. That was A3A. I'm gonna move B just like totally off to the side because it's a single piece. A4C. Okay, so now this one has a piece. The one I'm about to cut out is number 1. So it's gonna go on top once I cut it out. Oh, it's got a few actually. It's got quite a few. 1, 5, 6, 8. 1, 5, 6, 8. All 4 of those. Here's number 1. In my stack over here, I have 8, 6, 5, 3, 1. I'm just going to keep doing that and making my stacks until I have all the stacks.
Much later.
Alright, I got all my pieces cut. And ultimately, I think that took less than an hour, maybe? Took a smidge more than an hour. I can put this away. So my cut guides are going to go in here. Rest of the month 3 pages. And I should not need the book anymore because I have all the fabric cut. So there's a few ways to do this. You can take an entire stack. So if we take this one for example, you can see I've ordered it 1, 2, 3. How am I missing one there? Seriously? My example has an issue. I missed OA on this one, or I've lost it somewhere. Bother.
2 very boring minutes later.
Now I have everything done. For example, they should be stacked 1, 2, 3, 4. Take this over to the machine. You can take a single piece if by your machine you have your cutter You can take something smaller and then have your iron nearby as well, to where you literally don't have to get up. Otherwise, you can do the same way we put them together previously, where you take the whole stack of all of your pieces and you do the first seam on all of them. And then you take that stack to the trimming table, and then you take that stack to the iron. And then this time, instead of going back to cut more fabric, you'd go back to the sewing machine and sew the next one. Okay, let's give this very bizarre angle a try. I have brought over the piece that has the most pieces. It's A4C, and it's got 8 pieces. In month 1, I used yellow and black thread. In month 2, I used all of these. And I think for this one, let's lay it out. 1 is cream, 2 is leather, 3 is bison, 4 is mocha, 5 and 6 are cream again, 7 is scone, 8 is cream again. Obviously I want to use this one for those, that's for sure. But these ones, light thread shows up more on your fabric than a darker thread. I think I'm gonna go with the brown. It's a little dark. And let's go ahead and restack these so I don't get them out of order. Number 1, and stick a pin in it. Here I go again. Got long stitches. Stop, drop it down to 1.5. So now I'm going to trim it. And instead of getting up and going to a trim table, I brought my stuff over here. Normally I would put this on the harder table, but this will work for now. And then I take it over to the iron. So if you're gonna go this method where you bring the whole piece over, you do want this set up. You're not standing up. I am swiveling between my bits. And then I go to number 3. Pinch and flip. There we go. First piece, totally done. And it's arguably the most complicated piece. I am not going to trim the edges yet. I'll do that at the end. And just keep going. I'm also going to change this out because I don't like using this. I also don't like cutting on this map. Yeah. So that's the process. Bring your stack over, sew, trim, iron, sew, trim, iron, sew, trim, iron. So almost the same as our previous month where we did sew, trim, iron, cut, sew, trim, iron, cut. Now we are all done with the cutting already. So I brought over a stack of the A4s. I think there's 3 here. If they're 4 or 5 in each, so that you're going to have some left over while you're sewing a seam, make sure you keep it in an order. So you always have, this one is E, F, I, so alphabetical. This guy's ready to trim, but I'm going to go ahead and do these first. So it's basically a hybridized version of what we used to do, of doing all the pieces, then trimming. And now I'm gonna trim all of these. Not giving myself a lot of room with this mat. Then we're just gonna iron them all. Alright, I really need more space over here to actually scoop myself over. What I should do is put my regular bed on here so it's not my massive one. To see all the junk that's underneath. Witness the mess. There we go. That is going to be much easier. I do not know why I have scissors and 2 snips up here. Don't need that much. All right. Ow. Had my foot under my IKEA Alex drawers and pulled it up the corner. Ooh, that hurts. Bit of a gouge. Doesn't appear to be bleeding though. Alright, we're trimmed. We're ironing. Checking my foot constantly to make sure it's not actually bleeding. Feels like it should be bleeding. Alright, I went to Pilates. Now I'm back. So I need to divide these by color. This one is all dark. This one's kind of light-ish. I'm missing one again. I'm so good. Did I just skip OA? I think I did. Well, that's fun. Let me go get that. Well, this is an annoying error. Put the wrong one on. I must have let them get out of order. I grabbed number 3 for 2. Now I need to redo this. First real error I think I've done in these, so this method, you gotta be way more careful. All the previous ones I never made a wrong color error like this. I'm grabbing 3 instead of 2. I cut the wrong one for 1, but whatever. The fix on this is pretty straightforward. It's unpicking, yay! And it's itty bitty stitches, which is a pain in the ass. And it's on newsprint, so I want to try to not tear the newsprint up a bunch. Okay. I'm gonna chuck this one and grab a new mahogany. Conveniently have plenty of fabric. Okay, let's not mess up again. Pause. Oh my god, I almost did it again. Seriously? Ah, that was so close.
Much later.
This is A3. Let's get her trimmed up. I do love the assembly guide for this one. Sew them together. That's the assembly guide. Lovely. So this one is here. Let's get A4 trimmed up. Alright, she's ready to be assembled. Month 3 is done. I might actually be able to catch up at this rate. Month 3 was a single day, not even a whole day, like a half day. 4 is already here. It's hefty. This is gonna be a lot. It feels a lot like this one. All right, so for these, it was 1 hour to cut all the fabric, about 3 hours to piece all the individual pieces, and then another hour, hour and a half to trim up all the pieces and assemble. That's it. All done. And considering I also had Pilates and other errands from today and I did some video editing, I'm very pleased with the day. Suppose I only had like 2 issues this round. For some reason, I seem to have forgotten to cut out OA twice. I must have just like completely missed it altogether. I don't know what happened. And then I had one where I grabbed the number 3 when I should have grabbed the number 2. Easy fix there would have been just to actually consult the color guide before I sewed things on, just to triple check that I was using the right colors. I did have to be incredibly cautious with these 2. I really hope I didn't screw it up because I went back and forth on which one was nacho cheese and which one was goldfish. A lot of back and forth on that one to make sure I got it right. So fingers crossed when I go to put the next one on that it's not off. That's it. This one went together pretty easy. Doing the method of cutting all the fabric first and then sewing together just requires a bit more attention to detail when it comes to making sure you're pulling the correct fabric. I probably wouldn't recommend that method for month 4. Just based on the weight. It's way too much to do that. You could do a few pieces. So take all of these pieces, cut out all of their fabric and put all of them together and do it that way. I don't know what would be faster in that regard. I'm halfway through Sewphia block of the month, so like and subscribe if you'd like to see the rest.